Oh, fun. And we're back. Hi, Birdie. What's going on over there? Just when we get our kit sorted. It's always just little details. Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Concordia University's ForSpace, taking a closer look behind closed doors into spaces and projects you might not know about at Concordia. And today, ForSpace takes a closer look at the VA Foundry and Metal Shop. And first, to help situate you, we are streaming to YouTube live from ForSpace, and we are located here on unceded Indigenous lands in Chichage, Montreal. Here at ForSpace, we work with our university community to help mobilize knowledge, co-create daily activities, and look inside research questions and projects, things happening across the university. We're hosting this event live from location. Things will happen. Connectivity issues are to be expected. It's part of the fun. Stick with us. We're also running this event as a live stream Zoom meeting. So any of you joining us via Zoom, if you have any questions, just pop them into the chat. We'll try and get those over to the Foundry. And kind of as a special part of today's closer look, we have a remote correspondent. Lucy Gill is an interdisciplinary artist currently completing a BFA in sculpture here at Concordia, is our field correspondent for an Art History 356 course, Studies in the Materials and Processes of Art. So under that guise, Lucy's going to show us around. Hi, Lucy.
Hi, welcome. I want to introduce you to Kevin, who is the technician here at the VA Foundry, and Maya.
Hi, Maya.
And we're just going to take a look inside.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
We have our ForSpace team, Birdie and Isa, also there, and Isa's taking a look around here, sort of see where we are. I don't know if Lucy, if you can hear me, but I was curious what building we are in.
So we're in the Visual Arts Building, which is located on René Lévesque. It's it has basically all of, if not all, most of the studio rooms for fine arts students here at Concordia. So that would be the Foundry, the sculpture studios, painting, ceramics, a couple other things also.
Okay.
So yeah, I guess I'm gonna pass it over to Kevin a little bit and just ask you to explain sort of what this particular workshop does, how it functions, maybe walk us through what you start with here and then the products that students are trying to get out of the Foundry.
Oh, it'll be my pleasure. So my name is Kevin Andres-Teixeira. I'm the founding technician here at the VA Foundry shop. So if a student wants to cast metal objects, well, this is the place to work. So today I'm going to keep it really short and showing a bit the process from the wax piece to the metal cast piece. So here on the table, we have a nice range of objects that have been cast and some pieces to showcase the process from the beginning, which we'll start with this one. So this is made of wax, so it's a ribbon. And then,
Kevin, is that carved?
No, this is cast.
It's cast.
It's cast via plaster mold. So people, all kinds of range of works can be and build, carve, organic burnout. And yeah, I think I name it. Yeah, so it's 3D printed because sometimes I have people that want to cast something that was 3D printed, and yeah, we add those. Actually, this one was via 3D prints, this crab. So it was scanned,
Okay.
via a real crab, and then 3D printing plastic. We do the process, and then at the end, it looks like this.
So this here, like this robin, for example, this would be what a student brings to you?
Yes, the idea. So they have an idea, and I'm the best place to tell how to make the project a reality, right?
Okay,
But they come with a sketch
okay.
or just with an idea. We took the time to look at, and yeah.
What is
I'll-
possible? And
What is possible wasn't possible because here our main process, the technique that we use to metal casting is the lost wax technique. So mostly wax, but like I said, there's other materials that we can implement. So the 3D printing is going to be a bit like wax. It's going to be in metal way. And as I said, organic burnouts. So if there's some people want to cast, for example, this is a sock, there's ways of casting this.
Wow.
So is that a real sock?
Yes, that was soaked in wax because you want to make sure that any material that you want to cast for the shelling process needs to be hard.
Okay,
So we coat it with wax. So
so it kind of stiffens it.
yes.
Cool. And so when you talk about lost wax casting,
Yes.
what does that mean? Can you kind of walk us through? I
Yes.
see all these examples here. Are those kind of the steps?
Yes. So those are the steps. So so let's say this is the project I want to cast. The first thing you need to do is build the getting system. So the getting system, in short words, is the roads, the roads where to help the metal flow in once it's time to be cast. So you want to make sure that once we're going to pour the molten metal in an empty mold, which is going to be like this, right? So you have to make sure that there's no trap air inside, and it's going to be a beautiful finish cast like this one, right?
Okay, wow. So if I see both of these kind of side by side,
Yes.
this
so
is
the
what you
original,
start with, and
and
you
this
get an exact replica.
exactly.
Cool.
So there's a little bit of shrinking under the 10%. For an art student, it's negligible. Maybe for an engineering, this is something you need to think in advance. So let's say you really want 2 inches. Well, you need to make the original a bit bigger. So to take account of the shrinkage.
Okay. So in this specific studio, you're mostly working with fine art students?
Yes.
But
Oh, we froze there for a minute. Hold with us, folks. That's our transmitter reconnecting. It can be difficult sometimes to keep the connection going in some of these spaces. There's a lot going on. We do have some backup plans, however. Oh, we're back.
Yeah, okay. So right now we are looking into the wax room. So this is the place where students come in and the creative will become reality. So my colleague at this moment is showing another type of getting system. So this one contains 2 wax birds, and you can see other pieces on the table. So this work was able to be cast via the plaster mold, as I said in the beginning.
Yeah.
And it goes just like this. So a beautiful cast.
Amazing.
so you can make many of the
Yeah.
same pieces over and over again using
Yes.
this method?
Yeah.
Right.
Multiples.
Yeah, so
Kevin,
somebody
I-
wants, sorry?
I was curious as to what metals are people using. Is this bronze or what are?
Yes. So the 2 metals that we use currently is a recycled aluminum,
Okay.
and the other metal is going to be the classic bronze, which the name is silicon bronze or Everdure.
Okay.
Yeah, so here you can see another, this is bronze.
That's bronze.
Great. And so when people are working with the wax, you can do it in that kind of mold setting. And then are there other ways of creating projects where you're not just replicating an object like this bird.
Yeah.
Can you do other, you can
Yeah,
build,
you
like
can
hand build or?
Unbuilt. So we have all kinds of materials available to students to work on. So we see here again the socks. So that's one way using other materials besides the wax. But let's say if you want to do end building, I have wax for it.
Okay.
Right? Because there's all kinds of wax depending for the right job.
Right.
So we have wax that is designed for casting, some that is end build, some that is for carving. If you see the engineering side, they have machinable wax to be used in a mill or lathe. We don't have those because we don't have those machines yet, but maybe in the future.
Okay,
Is
so we
there-
can see that it's kind of flexible and
Yes,
easy to
so
work
this
with.
wax is the foundry wax. So what the foundry wax is a bit the melting pot, all the wax that we reclaim after the waxing process.
Okay, so to my understanding, when you're doing the casting, you kind of build it with this wax. You can carve into it, as we can see here, and then throughout the process, all of the wax will be melted away, and you can recycle all of that.
Yes, most of it, yes.
Okay.
Yes. So once we're going to be in the foundry, that's something I can explain a little bit.
Okay.
Um,
We're moving over to the foundry now. So this is a separate room. What happens in here?
yes, so this is the heart of our shop. So right now Maya is showing empty molds that have been already de-waxed, so they're empty. So this material is something that can withstand high temperature because the way we cast, the molds need to be very hot. Because let's say, for example, if we dare to pour some molten metal inside, the shell will crack and will break.
Okay. So these white objects that we're seeing,
Yes.
that is kind of the imprint of the object that you start with.
Yes.
And inside these holes that we're seeing, it's going to be filled with metal. Is that correct?
So the molds are the negative.
Okay,
bottoms.
right,
So the bird that I showed in the beginning, we call that the positive.
right.
Right.
Okay.
So
What's this here?
So Maya, this is she touched is the crucibles. So this is the recipient where we're going to put the metal. So yeah, it's almost like a pot, and you put the ingredients. So our ingredients here is metal. So this is bronze ingot that she's feeding into the crucible. That, as you can see, is not in function. It doesn't look like that. And this is the kiln, which we put the molds inside. So the pouring cup needs to be placed downwards to facilitate the wax draining to a shelf that is underneath, which I can open and I can remove and take the wax back.
Okay, so that's kind of where all the wax comes out,
Yes.
and then you're able to recycle it afterwards.
Exactly. Same thing for the metal. So once your piece is cast, people cut off from the gating system, and then we use that to melt back again.
Okay, wow. So all of this metal that we're seeing here
Yes,
was
part of the work.
a part of an artwork that now we can melt that back down and reuse it for someone else's work.
Exactly.
Okay, so it's kind of this like regenerative
Yes.
cycle of
Yeah.
materials.
Yes.
And this here is,
So yes, so this is a not cast. So you can see this is like a aluminum plate that was worked in a digifab in a water jet cutter. So it's a waste. So instead of throwing to the garbage or going to the scrap, these things that I've been talking with a lot of technicians around the campus. So if they have aluminum waste, I ask them to bring back. So this here, this bucket, it was a collaboration with the soccer. So because they have so much aluminum, I don't know if I say scraps, but objects that people throw away, and we try to recuperate as much as possible.
okay, great.
So this is a great initiative to, reduce the waste.
Great.
I was I was curious is if there are impurities or if when you're recovering pieces of aluminum like that, or also with the wax that had a sock in it, in the lost
Yeah.
wax, are you able to, do you have to purify it, clean it?
Yes, there's a filtering process,
Okay.
which I do it beyond the doors, let's say. So organic burnouts, there's a lot of impurities. Most of them are burned. So when we bought the new kiln, it's also to allow us to be more environmentally friendly. So I can show you. So our old kiln has its own strengths, but it had this weakness, which we didn't have a compartment, which is the afterburner. So it's
Okay.
quite a big equipment, but we're just only using the half of it. So this side here, it's afterburner. So it's a room where all the particles, anything that is really nocive, burns away, and we're projecting only clean air to the universe. So this we didn't have it. So now we can really push what we could, what is possible. So anything that is a bit toxic, now it's possible to do it.
Okay, so this new kiln that you have is really helping to reduce the amount of toxic chemicals that are being released out.
Exactly,
into-
because of that specific box, the afterburner, that everything there is burned. Also, the new kiln heat up much quicker. Just to an example, the shop has been exists for now decades. So the setup before, it was a bit DIY garage. Was old. Safety regulation. It was not as we are today. But it was really a nice place to work on. I have the chance to work with the old equipment, but it was really needed. So that's why the shop seems not to be 100% because we're currently finishing the renovation project.
Okay.
But once we're done, this is going to be the place that everyone wants. Already people want to be here, but I think it's going to be very difficult to I have to say no at some point, people to come work here.
Right.
And so now you're doing these renovations, transitioning the shop
Yes.
a little bit. As you spoke about with the kiln, there's kind of this shift towards a more sustainable work
Yes.
method.
Yeah.
Are there other things that you do in the shop apart from recycling the wax, recycling the metal back through the projects? What about other wastes that you guys have?
There is, I think, one of the weakness of the ceramic shell. I'll show you just here. So these materials, there's not ways to recuperate. It's really one-time use. So once you break this is directly like industrial waste.
Okay.
There's nothing, as I know right now, that we can use for something else. I'm being in talks with other technicians. So the metal bronze or aluminum dust, that's something that I can recuperate, and I give to my colleague in ceramic shop for glazing testing. So that's one way of trying.
Okay. Oh. I think we lost our sound there. I'm gonna. Oh. Let's hold on 1 second, see if we can get our sound back. Maybe Birdie, you can open up the mic on your Zoom. That might work. At least so we could say goodbye. This happens.
We're back?
Oh, I can hear you now.
Okay.
So I was saying, we're implementing sand casting because projects that doesn't require the use of ceramic shell, and same thing with the sand, we can claim most of it, so there's less waste.
You can reuse the sand without having to repurify it, etc.
So we have to sieve it because there's going to be spills of metal, but that's we have
right.
screens, and through the screening process, it's only the sand.
Right, so it reduces the waste of the whole shell process, which
Yes.
cannot be reused.
No,
Okay,
no.
great. So, yeah, it sounds like between kind of like the things you're doing within the shop yourself and also outsourcing materials from the sucker,
Yes.
giving waste materials to the ceramics department, taking waste materials from the digifab.
Yes.
Within the fine arts department, you have this sort of like cyclical,
Yes.
helping each other, lending materials where it works and,
A strong network.
yeah,
Yes.
great.
So I'm keeping always in touch with, I know all the technician in the fine arts, so they all know, and we're always trying to help each other. Finding solution because we want to have less footprint. It's not obvious because, it's a tech. Yeah,
It's a technical shop, there's
it's a
lots of
technician.
energy floating
Yes,
around, but
exactly.
doing a little.
Yeah, and I think we're just improving much better than what it was before.
Lucy, Kevin, thank you so much for showing us around. It's amazing to see. It's also been really great to see the last couple labs, like the kind of different work that's been going on to try to make practices inside labs, inside foundries more sustainable. And thank you, Lucy, for bringing that highlight to that this conversation and to see what Kevin's been putting together there. We're going to close up here from ForSpace, but I just want to let you know this conversation remains available on our YouTube channel. You should revisit it. You should share it. And again, I'll thank you and have a great afternoon. Also, Maya, thank you.